Hello, my loyal companions. Welcome back to RogueCast, your dedicated Rogue Company podcast. I'm your host, Radthar, and joined as always by Mr. OctaneProTV. How are we this week?
We are doing awesome. We have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Rogue Company's got quite a few great things coming down the pipeline, so I'm excited to dive into it.
Yes, absolutely. And just to give you the overview of what we will be talking about, we'll be talking about the Arms event, our general reactions, our week as usual. We always talk about our week and how it's gone, and also the leaks towards Mac. So a lot of interesting stuff. New rogues, new things happening. I like it. Some hype for Rogue Company is back, and that's what I've been seeing in my comments, in my chats and stuff. Is people are like, Rogue Company's got stuff going on. I'm excited again. I'm like, yes, this is what I needed. I needed this. But we'll start off with just catch up on the week. How's your week been with Rogue Company? What's it been like? Content, all that stuff.
Sure.
What's the vibe been?
Sure, absolutely. So we did Fight Club the other night, as always, and that was a blast. Had a really good time with those twos. You did not play in them.
I did not.
But it was a good time. You and Jolly sat out. You know, you kind of your back hurt from the previous week.
Yes, carrying.
But had some great games. It was really good. Had some good contenders in there, which is awesome. Talent gets better and better every week, so I've been really enjoying that. Jumping ahead from there, played ranked on Tuesday. You and I tested the ability to the bug that was in it in order to allow you to play with people outside of your rank window, we'll call it. And for those of you guys interested, you can't do that anymore, which is really interesting because I thought that there was rumors that was going away.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely the rumors that they're looking at removing it, that limitation that you can't play with anybody. But that they bugged out the bug that made you get into
the way
it.
they did it. Yeah, I was like, it blew. So Tuesday night, I was me and another platinum player, and then we grabbed were they gold?
I think it was silver.
Gold, maybe?
I think it was silver.
Silver was it? Okay, the third player was silver. And I was like, okay, usually I'm like the lower guy on the totem pole when it comes to ranks. So like I had to ask Radthar, like, how do you usually, do this? And I tried to do it, and he's like, you're doing it wrong. Let me show you.
I was.
So Radthar jumps in, tries it, and it doesn't work. And I, of course, got a good laugh at it, but it was interesting. Instead of them fixing the issue where I add Radthar, who's rogue rank, of course, to my group, and I go ahead and click it, or we go about like back and forth, passing back and forth, it queues us up. All they did was add a bug to a bug.
They really did.
When you try to bug it, it just gives you another bug. It's like, oh my god, wait, what? Like, is this what you expected? Like, was this like your easy band-aid on the wound? Just slap this on it and hope for the best.
Yeah, so it's literally, if you try and bug it to make you get in, you crash the lobby is what happens, and it doesn't let you queue for anything. And so it's like, okay, wow, that was instead of just making it not a thing. Because again, the stupid thing was, the way you used to do it, you used to queue for demolition after doing a few switchies, and it would put you into rank. So instead of just saying, hey, I queue for demolition, I get demolition, they just said, you queue for demolition, you get nothing. It's like,
it just hangs, and you're like, wait, what's going on? And then it's just like, it dies.
Why I was thinking it was something wrong, because you was passing it to an Xbox player, or even was he a Switch player? I think it was Xbox.
No, Xbox.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, that's obviously the issue. And did I know it was they fixed it. But no.
But that night was good though. So that night I played 2 ranked games to start with, and they were terrible. Now I queued with Insane Shane, so he's platinum as well. Yeah. And we just didn't do well, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't play well, but the other players were like on a different planet.
Yeah, I remember.
They weren't even like, the skill level wasn't even there. It was abysmal. But then our third game, we got in with 2 other guys that were like a duo like us, and that were super team coordinated. They weren't good, but they were super coordinated. And so, like, God's gift to the world, we play this is what you don't hear. These are the stories you don't hear. You have a really good game with that group, and then after that match, they send you an invite to then do a 4-man invite. Nice. And then we just did multiple invites, multiple games after that, and did really well. So we're looking good. Probably by next show will be Plat 3, so that's fun and exciting. As you know, I don't take ranks super seriously at this point. Like, it's not like I grind it. It's like once a week, I put myself through it and go from there. So it was good for me. But what about you? What was Rogue like for you this week?
Yeah, so this week, standard streams, playing with the viewers. Streams have been really popping off recently. They've been great. So I've been enjoying that a lot. I said playing with viewers is always fun. I find Strikeout is getting sweatier and sweatier, and I do tend to see this towards, as we saw at the end of last season as well. this
Mm.
happens because everyone's kind of grinding ranked. Everyone's like, whatever, we're kind of bored of ranked, kind of bored of Rogue
Yeah.
Company in a way. But let's just shoot
Yeah.
some heads. And so you get a lot of sweaty 4-man stacks in rank now, and it's like, oh, well, leave me alone. Like,
What is going on?
And of course, I play with viewers, and they vary in skill. Sometimes I get cracked viewers,
Yeah.
and it's great. And sometimes, I get people who need a bit of a boost up, and
Yep.
and we suffer when we go against really good people. And I'm not generally that minding. But I started the week off really, really good. I've been spoken last week. I've been playing Phantom. I've been loving Phantom, just sniping heads. It's great. Just seeing a 140 and someone go down is just the most satisfying thing in this game, I swear. So I've been really vibing with that. And then I went to my solo queue to Rogue stream, which is every Friday. It's great. I loved it. And then I played 2 matches, hard lost. Was like, damn. Not much I can do. I'm very positive when it comes to ranked. Some people always say like, how do you deal with solo queue? And I'm like, I'm just pretty positive. Exactly. I don't care that much. Like I care and I want to win, but I don't take it to heart if I lose, I guess. And then so after those 2 losses, maintenance, unscheduled maintenance hits. And
I saw that.
Yeah,
what was that about?
I don't know. There was a bug with something with matchmaking that they took them about an hour and a half to fix. So I'm there on stream on my solo queue to Rogue stream, one of my favorite streams of the week, and one of my most successful streams of the week in terms of viewership numbers. And servers go down, and so I'm there and I type up in my OBS a little Rogue servers down, sad face, and put it on my screen. And I just have me on the loading screen and my cam up in the corner. And I was actually just chatting with chat and. People came in flocks. Honestly, they just came.
They're looking
to see what's up, and then they just stayed because it was a really fun just chatting stream actually, where we were just talking about Rogue, asking questions. The Mac leaks had come out that day, I think, so everyone was like really interested in that as well, and asking questions. It was a really, really great time. It's actually one of the most fun streams I've had. And then servers come back on an hour and a half later, and then we played some games. Varying, I think we ended up going. I think I made it from Diamond 3, like 50 RP to like Diamond 2, 30 something RP. So we climbed, we did our thing. Yeah. We should be able to bash it out next week and get to Rogue. I might even do multiple streams for solo queue just to get it done because I'm done with it. I just want it done.
I'm done with it.
I'm done with it. But yeah, no. So that's pretty much been my week. And then the last few days, this weekend, for whatever reason, I was playing like garbage. Like honestly, it's just like I don't know what it is. I feel like aim assist just feels like it's not working all the time anymore. Like it feels
Wait, what?
I know. Take me off aim assist. I'm useless.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
The truth comes out.
It does. No, but I feel like there's something iffy. I feel like NA ping has been a little bit higher as well, which is probably actually the issue rather than aim assist. It's just the ping. So I've actually switched back to Europe a few times just to like deal with it. Which so it's strange. I don't know if they messed up with the servers or whether like maybe a server went down somewhere and that's what the maintenance was, and they just turned it off and moved it somewhere else, and maybe that's like the server I usually connect to, and now it's connected a bit further. Like
I like all these technical theories you have.
Exactly. I can't physically be bad at the game, Octane. Okay, so it has to be an issue somewhere else. Okay, I am.
Hey,
too
good. when I have those games or those I shouldn't say games. When I have the sometimes, but when I have a round that I do better than Radthar, I always make sure that I announce it. So that's why I'm like, yes, it happened. Look at that. Look at that.
It happens. It does. Rarely, but it does.
Yep. I'll be the first to admit.
But no, so that's pretty much been my week. Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. I've enjoyed it.
You know what? The other thing was this past weekend. Yesterday, I played a bunch of Rogue Company, but what I played was Dodgeball.
Okay.
The new mode they added, and dude, it was so much fun.
Oh, really?
I really enjoyed it. I wrote it off at first, and then off stream, somebody was like, "Hey, you want to play?" And I'm like, "Sure, let's give it a go," type of deal. And I was popping off as Lancer.
Yeah?
Oh my god! And rooftops. I'm not gonna lie. Quick story about rooftops. First time I loaded on rooftops, I landed and I went to the right, and I jumped a little too soon, and I just fell right down. And I was like,
you saw the beach.
I'm like, thank God that I wasn't streaming right now because this was a total fail moment. But why don't we segue into that? Thoughts on, have you tried Dodgeball?
Yeah.
And thoughts on Rooftops?
So I haven't tried it since PTS. I know nothing's changed since PTS, so my thoughts are the same. And it's basically what I was thinking on PTS. It's just another random game mode for me that is like, it's I play it maybe for an hour once ever, and then it's like, cool, getting back on modes that are like fleshed out and feel good. And it's not not Dodgeball feels bad. It's just like, so I'm running around and I'm killing people, and I kind of have one life. But if I just want a kill mode, I go striker. If I want a strategic mode, I go demo.
Yep.
Where and this is actually my thoughts on every other LTM is where does this fit in? Like, Assault is a weird mix of the two, which I kind of get the appeal for, but I either want strategic or I want go around and kill.
Yeah.
And it's like they just don't fulfill that for me. So dodgeball's the same. Wingman is the one exception. I do think Wingman is a good mode. I think it's something different. But this then brings in like 4v4 Wingman. It's just like mini like condensed strikeout to me.
Yeah.
And I just rather play normal strikeout.
It's feel like it's just like a sprinkle of like something different in order to keep interest.
Yeah.
Which I can understand it. I mean, it was fun. It was different. I think this is definitely something where like I don't mind tapping into that because I'm like, oh, I don't want to play strikeout. I don't want to play demo. Like let's try something new and different. So I did enjoy that. I did have fun with that. So that was definitely good. I found certain characters better than others in the mode. Which was totally understandable. You find that in any game mode, 100%. Certain ones that do better than others. Like Kestrel was awesome because of the fact that you could use her resupply. So that was great for a map, and it was a round that kept going. But other than that, it was good. Thoughts on rooftops and where you see that fitting in?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good skirmish map. Again, it will only be a skirmish map. It's not a demo map. It's not a strikeout map. It is a skirmish map. It is meant for wingman and things, and it's good. I think it's a really good map. I think its layout is unique. I feel like Depot and District kind of feel very similar in a way. I don't know why. Like they're laid out differently.
What do you do with if it's just a skirmish map? What do you do with a map that took that much time to put together? If it's just for fun modes like this, like, because for me, I feel like you could get away with a strikeout on this map. It would be difficult because it's of how open it is. Like you got to think of it. It's so open and the zip lines and everything. So it could be difficult, but I feel like you could get away with a strikeout on this map.
I think you could. Absolutely. I mean, probably
or a 2v2.
I mean, well, Wingman strikeout, right, would be the win there, the one there. I think Wingman actually will have a place eventually in the game that is a pretty like solid like place. Honestly, like it will be a full mode. And I think they'll have a bunch of maps for it, and it will become like something that the comp scene even revolves around in a way of like, you know what, let's jump in a 2v2. Call of Duty did this really well. They have gunfight, and it's the exact same thing. It's small skirmish maps, and it's 2v2. It's one life if I take the standard Wingman. And they sometimes run events, which is just tournament over and over again. It's just like in-game tournaments similar to like Smash, like Super Smash Bros. And stuff, where it's just like people queue, there becomes a mini bracket, and you fight, and you get a few prizes if you win. But it's not like a paid-for money tournament. It's not a CMG. It's literally just an in-game tournament for these sort of skirmish maps. And I think it's a great idea. I would love to see that come to Rogue as just something like you could pop in like, oh, you know what, I just played some team deathmatch, just played some Dragon, just played some demolition. You know what, my mate's on. Let's run a quick like tournament of this Wingman stuff. I think it'd be pretty cool. I love that in COD. That was honestly one of my favorite things to do in Call of Duty, was just run like these little gunfight tournaments. So I think it'll be really interesting. I think they'll flesh out more maps, and then they'll be good.
Something that you reminded me of, which in a previous episode we talked about things that we feel could really bring back some rejuvenation to the game. And this came into the game after I played the game when I went back to revisit, which was StarCraft 2.
Okay.
So StarCraft 2, when I went back to revisit it, this was a game I played years ago competitively. Did pretty good, actually. Went to a few MLG events, competed in them. Never won a big event, but definitely competed in them. Was Masters in that game. They added this feature, which I think would be phenomenal. What it is, Radthar and Octane jump on. They're like, hey, we want to play in a mini tournament. So you jump on, and there is a countdown always available to tell you when the next tournament is. And it's once every like 3 hours.
Okay.
So every 3 hours. So I jump on and say, hey, Radthar, in 1 hour this tournament starts. Here's the countdown for duos. So we click on it to like chat, like add us to it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so let's say we do that 5 minutes before the event starts. This is not me making this up in my head. Like, this is how it works.
Yeah.
So like 5 minutes before it starts, we get in on it. Okay. The event starts. It would automatically put us in. It would show us the bracket. It would add us into the game.
Yeah.
And then we jump into the game. We play 2v2 Wingman. And then we finish that game. It automatically then puts us at a waiting screen. And then adds us in to the next game.
Yeah.
Or type of deal. And then it would play us in this tournament all the way through.
Yeah.
And if you needed a like 2 minute break, you could say like need 2 minute break, and it like gives you 2 minutes on the clock type of deal.
Okay.
How cool would that be to have this built in to the game? But the only thing they didn't have in StarCraft 2 that could be awesome for Rogue Company is if they gave you spectator slots, so that
That'd be cool.
if somebody was friends with me,
Yeah.
they could just hit spectate us,
Mhm.
or you could view tournaments going on,
Yeah.
and you could pick and choose what games you want to spectate.
Yeah. The one issue with the spectator is you can see the other team. Probably would be a bit iffy.
Well,
if
you could
see the
delay.
team.
I don't know the technology there with
you-
Rogue Company.
Yeah, you
You
could
could
delay it or something. So that is that's exactly what the Call of Duty tournaments are. Exactly
Boom!
what you just said is
That would-
exactly what the Call of Duty tournaments are.
Perfect.
Except they don't run every 3 hours; they run every 5 minutes. Like
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
because Call of Duty has the player base for it. You know, they can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
they
yeah,
can run 5 minutes of these things. It's literally you queue for one, you finish it, and there's one that will be going on in a couple minutes, and it's like, and you just keep going and going and going, and there's like little rewards you get
That'd
for
be
getting higher and
awesome.
higher. I think it'd be really really cool.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's a great direction for Wingman to go.
Leaderboard, a
leaderboard
for,
stats.
like that would be sick to be like, oh, you know, Radthar
Yeah.
has X amount of total wins.
Mhm.
He has X amount of grand final
Yeah.
wins. Like that would be, oh my
It'd be
gosh.
great.
Okay, it would be an interesting way for high-res studios to fuel the competitive scene
Mhm.
without throwing money at somebody like
Yeah.
CMG to run me a
Mhm.
tournament. It's like, no, you have your own built-in tournament.
Yeah.
Like mode.
Yeah.
Scott Gandhi, if you're listening, your ears better be tingling.
Hey, this is it's definitely, I think, a great idea. But something else that came this week that I think it will be interesting to talk about very, very quickly. I think we talked this to death, honestly, in the last one, what we thought it would be like. And now it's here, the Arms Dealer event. Just want to give a brief overview of opinions of the Arms Dealer event. Some of the hitches that kind of came with it, what we think of the skins, and their response at reducing the price so quickly. So I think I'll give a quick summary of exactly what happened. The Arms Dealer event landed. It was the standard $40 that we knew it was going to be. It was the exact same way that we've been describing as happening. Within hours, must have been hours.
It was a short time period.
They took the servers down for maintenance for an hour, and they came back with the Arms Dealer event being half the price. They halved everything for the it's about everything. So they bumped the price. Now, great. And they put out a post saying, you know what, look, we listened to community feedback, and this is what we thought. A lot of people said, well, you know, PTS, we all gave that feedback anyway. Like, yeah, but the PTS is a very small minority of the player base.
It's true.
You know, which is very, very true. And based on the other feedback, we thought this would be the best course. And, you know, everyone celebrated them. I'm not going to lie. And it was a really good move. To get it done so quickly as well was a really good move. The one thing that really, confused me, though, and I will say this, is I bought everything at standard price before. And they refunded everybody. They full price refunded everybody for it. But I don't know if they meant to do this. And
I guarantee you they didn't.
No.
Guarantee you.
But when they refunded you, you didn't lose any of the items. So essentially, you had everything, and you had all your rogue bucks back, and because I was like, okay, I literally told people, because this happened to me on stream. I tested this on stream. I actually bought everything. Like, I bought it, and then I tested it on stream. I bought everything else to make sure to see if it was unlockable, and just essentially test whether they had broken it. And I said to everyone on stream, I said, do not spend the rest of these rogue bucks that you got back, because they're probably gonna take it away from you, and you have to buy it. And then I think Scott put out a tweet, or tweeted something from High Res and their announcement saying, to anyone who bought it beforehand who was refunded the cost, you get to keep everything and your initial rogue bucks as a thank you for being willing to purchase it at full price. And my brain went, what? I mean, I'm glad I got it all for free, but what?
Yeah, so I wasn't super distracted there. I was listening. What I was doing was I wanted to go through and see some of their wording. So it looks like on Twitter on the 14th, they did make it, you know, they're the Rogue Company Twitter, which I feel all Rogue Company announcements need to be, not on developer Twitters.
I would agree.
Love you, Scott, but they need to be on the Rogue Company Twitter. Anyways, it says, Rogues, since our update, we have been listening to your feedback about the Arms Dealer event, and we will temporarily disabling it while refunding any purchases you have made. So what that says right there is we're disabling it in the game. If Radthar bought it, we're going to refund it. Later this afternoon, we will bring it back online with a 50% discount.
Cool.
So what that says is, Radthar, you bought it. We're going to refund you entirely. You should have lost it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to discount it 50%.
Yeah.
So my guess is it was an oversight, and now it's a oh shit moment.
Yeah.
You know, type of deal. But you have to remember, for them, rogue bucks are an intangible item.
Yeah.
So you bought it. they got your money
Yes.
and then they just refunded you back Rogue Bucks. They didn't refund you like back to your credit card per se.
No. So you still paid them for it.
Yep, exactly.
But and this is what I said, because people have said that to me. I'm like, yeah, but you have to remember, the moment I spend those Rogue Bucks, they lose that's when they lose value. Currently, with the 5,000 Robux sitting in my account, they're in the exact same spot. The moment I spend it on other cosmetics that I would have otherwise had to pay for, that's when they lose money. And so, you know,
yes,
that's the thought process there. I just thought that was funny. I just thought it was really, really funny.
Yeah,
and it was just
like,
of course that's the way that went down. Like, of course they broke it. Like, I mean,
do you feel, and this is a side note, and I know this is like Octane Pro going off on tangents,
I like it.
Why do you feel that stuff seems to happen more often than none with Rogue Company? Why is it that these like little things that on any other developer wouldn't have occurred seem to happen all the time? Why do you feel that is, being newer to the high res scene?
I think they are understaffed, is actually what I think is happening. I think there are different departments do not talk to each other. There is a department that is a year ahead right now. They know where the game's going in a year, right? And they slowly trickle things down. And then there's the department who have to deal with what's going on at the moment. That's the community managers, and that is like just some devs who are trying to like hotfix things, and they're understaffed. That's genuinely what I feel like, because there's got to be a voice in there that's saying, oh wait, let's remember to remove the rewards so people don't get them for free. Like that's just like, you know, that's got to be a voice. I think it's, and I know they just hired somebody. They just hired a new senior community manager. I think that's the title roughly.
Which I don't know why they call it senior, because there's only one community manager. So it's like, wait,
yeah,
usually
I don't know what Radar's or AV's title are anymore though either.
No, they both moved out of it. Like I know Radar has moved up in the ranks, overseeing multiple different situations, but it makes me laugh when people get a senior title for something and there's no junior person, or there's no like.
Unless there's the intention of there being junior people in the future, which I kind of makes sense, you know. But yeah, I understand you as well.
They could use the additional staffing in there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them have a partner manager. Like, I feel like they need a dedicated person to partners. A junior person would be great, and then like have your senior person. So I was just curious on your take, because from my perspective, I come off as like high res this, high res that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I have the original. For anybody that knows what this shirt is, this is the original launch tournament shirt in 2014, when the first year Smite launched. They launched 2013, but this was the first tournament that they ever had. I was at Worlds, they called it then, in Atlanta. That's before HRX existed or anything. But I know I come off as like high res this, high res that, because that was 2014. I mean, that was a number of years ago now. And so that's why I threw it to you first to find out your thoughts on it, because I'm like, I don't want to come off that this is typical high res, but this is typical high res. But no, I do feel like there's a lot. I think you hit the nail on the head there, and I'm so glad you came across that before I put it into your mouth, was the fact of there's a lot of miscommunication, it seems like, from the outside looking in, from an outside person's perspective that isn't talking with devs on it. It seems like that, like, oh shit, this isn't selling the way that we expected. We need to cut this down 50%. Okay, a developer, go into the game. I want you to do two things. I want you to cut the price in half, and I want you guys to refund the Rogue Bucks back. Done. Not saying like, oh, you also need to take the game that away. It's like you throw it off to a peon that just literally is like, I'm a robot. Give me your commands and I'll do them. And I agree with you. There's I don't like that disconnect. And it's like, wait, it came out on Scott's Discord or Twitter before it came out on like the Rogue Twitter, and like, why wasn't this on the Rogue Company Twitter with full details and explanations and like, I've seen tweets on Radar's Twitter that never see the light of day on the Rogue Company Twitter, or like, it's like, wait, why? Like, if I'm a fan and I'm following the Rogue Company Twitter, why do I have to follow the lead developer's Twitter to get information? And I have to follow the I don't know what he is now. It's director of something.
Mhm.
Radar's Twitter. It's like, wait, why do I have to follow X amount of Twitters? Oh, and then
Yeah.
one more Twitter I have to follow is the Hi-Rez Ops Twitter,
Oh
which
yes.
gives you, which tells you when maintenance is coming, the scheduled time
Mhm.
period, and gives you updates as to when it's coming
Mhm.
back up. Like, that's 4 Twitter accounts you have to
Mhm.
follow. It's like, come on,
Yeah,
guys. Like,
it's
we talked about miscommunication and like different, not. It's like this is a key example
mhm.
at the lowest level of social
Yeah,
media.
I completely agree. And you know what I think they need is, in like a restaurant, a kitchen, when you have that one person at the end who is that quality control, right? That one
Mhm.
person who just takes that little bite just to make sure everything's good before it goes out.
Yep, yep.
That's what they don't have. They don't have that one person to be like, it's and and I love what you said about
Before anything goes out.
exactly. Someone gives you a direction, like you have the people who are assessing these issues and deciding, making the decisions, right? They then pass it off to a developer who actually does the coding and does what what they're told,
Yep.
and damn right they're not going to like suddenly to be like, oh yeah, I'm also going to do this thing that I wasn't told to do, but I think would make sense, because that's so not that's so like that's how you get fired, is by doing something
Yep.
like that. And because if it blows up, let it blow up on the decision makers. Don't let it blow up on you,
Yep.
right? But then you need one more decision maker at the end to be like, okay, let's go through all the possibilities and we're good. That's what they're missing. And I honestly am chill if they just want to do that with the partner program. If they just want to literally an hour before the patch be like, this is the patch, by the way, what do you think? And we go, no. Like, go for it. Like,
Well, yeah,
and I said
the
hour, I mean
guarantee.
like
Yeah, but you're right.
previously.
You know what it is? It's they have QA people,
Mm-hmm.
but to go make a change like this, I guarantee you it didn't go through QA. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you it was just make the change.
Mm-hmm.
It got pushed to production and never went through quality control at all.
Yeah.
So it never went through that. And I think that's where that issue is, where it's like, wait, you rushed this out, you forgot this step.
Yeah.
And to anybody else, it's like, oh, no big deal. But if you're a higher up at high res, this is a profit loss. Like,
Yeah.
you fueled
Mm-hmm.
people back those amounts. Now they can go ahead and use that for
Yeah.
the next battle pass
Mm-hmm.
instead of making that additional money. And I know half of our viewers are going to go, well, that's okay because I went free Rogue Bucks, but
Yeah.
you also want to make sure they make money so that they
Mm-hmm.
keep developing the game. So it's like,
Yeah. Exactly.
so yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
left hand's not talking to the right hand here. And it just seems like
Mm-hmm.
it's a shame because the community sees right through this types of stuff,
Yeah.
like right through it
Yeah.
when a patch is going to drop or when something has changed, like you and I have said multiple times on the show, and we're like, who's asking for that?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why would you do this? Like, so yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue that occurs a lot, unfortunately. But in lighter news, in more
Yeah, let's flip this.
more
Let's flip it.
interesting news, I say, we'll talk
Yep.
about the new Rogue. And there were a lot of leaks came out, but I specifically just want to talk about the new leaks. I think there's some things with a new faction called Justicar that I think will maybe be worth talking about next week or something. But I just want to focus
Yeah,
on
that's
the
fine.
new Rogue this week. Mac, or as previously known in the files and on the previous leaks, Paladin. Very, very interesting. Loved it. I love leaks. I know that there's like some companies love data miners like Kramar. Some hate data miners like Kramar, who go into the PTS and find these things and just go, here you go, world, here's what's coming. I think it's great, and I hope Hi-Rez do as well, because this is the sort of thing that builds hype for their game, right? Me being able to make a video on all the latest leaks, it just brings hype and fuel, and that's what I've seen in the comment section, that's what I've seen in chats and stuff, and I'm super, super excited. Although this new Defender looks ridiculous. Like,
Was this now a question for you, real quick?
mhm,
Was on PTS? This was
yeah.
not in the patch files, correct?
This was in the PTS patch files, I
Okay.
believe.
The reason
Yes.
the reason I wanted to bring that up is you had commented on like, is Hi-Rez a company that wants the leaks or not wants the leaks? So I talked directly
Mhm.
with a certain individual at Hi-Rez
Okay.
about this because I said, why do you allow this?
Mhm.
Like, how is this good for the game
Yeah.
of you having all this was weeks ago, so
Mhm.
prior to all of this,
Yeah.
and they had said, our goal is not to do this, but it's a lot of work to take these out. And I'm like, okay, so do it. Like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
The second thing they said was that they started encrypting some of these
Okay.
so that it's harder to get to, so
Uh-huh.
that to find out. So that is why I was interested as to where this came from.
Okay.
Hence why this was not in the just grabbed. Oh, I found these in the game
Yeah.
files. Someone slipped up and opened up the PTS. Once
Oh my
again, we talked
gosh.
about the left hand talking to the right
Oh,
hand.
that was so bad.
So somebody allowed the PTS to be open, wide open,
Mhm.
and just Anybody who has access could get it, and this is how that came about. So
Yes.
I just wanted to. We just got done talking about this, but it's like here's another example where this stuff doesn't happen at Activision. This stuff doesn't happen at Ubisoft. Like, come on now, guys.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
and you said that, yes, PTS was open. But they still also went into the files. Kamar also found all of this in the files. All the graphics for it, and he put all them up available. All of the I've seen the code that he's gone and ran through and found all the stuff as well.
I don't think PTS is encrypted.
Okay, well, it definitely should be. But yeah, that was when I found out that this is exactly what happened. This is exactly how this went, right? When I found out the PTS was open, the first thing I did was log on to PTS, and I grabbed footage of Mac, and I grabbed footage of everything that I needed for a video.
Before it was coming down, yep.
And then I sent them a message being like, by the way, Radar, AV, do you know that the PTS server's open? Like, and it's not meant to be. And I'm like, cool, there you go. I was the guy! Because like at the end of the day, that shouldn't be there, like and it's I don't want that there open like to the things. I'll get what I need from it, and then I'll be like, go away.
Hey, listen up, YouTube listeners, can we get a hashtag or Radthar's fault, please?
Yes,
in chat?
exactly. I think I'm on top of that thing. Oh dear, that was funny. That one really made me laugh. I think that actually is what that potentially led to the servers going down later that night. By the way, is
likely.
Like in terms of, because then the main servers went down as well, so I think they maybe messed up something on the PTS server that then but I don't know about that, but I definitely was like, I told them, I was like, let's get this not on, because this is
now that
we don't
I've
need this.
gotten my footage,
exactly that's exactly what I needed. I actually, and it was not actually just that, it was actually more selfish. I didn't want everyone to tell me to play on the PTS server when I went live that day. That was literally it. Because everyone was like, go to the PTS, go to the PTS. I'm like, oh, sorry guys, the PTS is down. Oh no, guys.
Oh, no.
But that was the thing. But we did see the new Rogue, and we actually, because of that, we got to see his abilities and stuff, and we got to see his damage numbers in a test sort of situation. Again, no, that is all subject to change, but we got to see all of it, and it's really, really interesting. I really like his kit. I think he's way overtuned. I think he is going to get nerfed. If he doesn't, I'm going to be surprised. But what is
Did you play him at all?
No, you couldn't play him. That was the one thing you couldn't do. I did try and get in shooting range with him, and you couldn't play him. So I did just grab footage of his stuff.
They don't allow the rogues to be unlocked when you go into PTS.
No, all of them were unlocked. He just wasn't there. Like he was there, so you could see him in the rogue tab. But when they went to shooting range, he wasn't like a playable character. So it was kind of weird. And I didn't have enough robots to buy him either to try him on a game mode. So it was a bit weird. So. Yeah, you've seen the video, you've seen his kit breakdown. What is your initial thoughts of this character then? What do you think of this new defender and all his stuff?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I kind of wish. I feel like this is what Anvil should have been to a degree.
Yeah,
like his kit is. I feel like more useful, more. Rogue Company is a very a run and gun on the go type of game.
Yeah.
It is not your traditional slower paced game. And so I find that I'm looking at his kit now, I'm super curious on what your thoughts are on some of these. I mean, standard issue makes sense, but what Light Bomb is and how it works.
Yeah.
So but other than that, I'm excited for him. I like the direction they went with his weapon choices, like a yin and a yang, going one direction with Conviction.
Yeah.
Almost Conviction reminds me almost of their version of a little mini railgun type of deal.
Yeah.
I just imagine Mac being this stock guy holding this gun, and then your objection on the other side, which we know Dahlia is her bread and butter with that weapon right now, just because of the current state of MXR. So other than that, I really like what he has here. I think his kit's good. There's this great YouTuber named Radthar that made this video all about him, talking about his perks and his gadgets and everything. So do check it out. But swap it around. What are your overall thoughts of him from a high level?
Yeah.
Where do you see him fitting into the meta?
He is a Rogue Company version of Anvil, if that makes any sense. He is way more built for this skirmish front line. I'm a tank. He actually is a tank. Like Anvil is you can make him really stocky, and you can give him the shield, and he can survive, and he can go for bomb defuses. But Mac is, I'm gonna run at you, and you're gonna hate it. that is what Mack is. He's almost like Sigrid in a way, in terms of, I think, play style, where you're going to be kind of cocky with it. You kind of like know, yeah, if I can outgun you, I'm going to really punish you. And there's a few rogues that are good like that, who are good if you are better than your enemies. And I think Mack is going to fall into this, mostly because of that passive, which I already think needs to change, because it is a headstrong and a half life drain combined into one passive off rip. And again, we don't know exactly how much it is. I don't even remember. Does it say plus 25 armor in his passive?
It says start the game with 25 armor.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys in the audio audience, standard issue is his passive, and it is start the game with 25 armor. Downing enemies instantly repairs this armor.
Yeah.
So a lot of there's a lot of items in the game that if you down an enemy does X, type of deal, perks, things like that.
Yeah.
This one is very much a passive. We see Kestrel, with her downing, giving cash flow. But this one is start the game with 25 armor. Downing enemies instantly repairs this armor. So think of it. This character is going to be paired with Dahlia all the time. Because having two characters on a 5-man team is going to be phenomenal. Like
round one.
Phenomenal.
Round one. Yep. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So he basically starts with headstrong. And again, I'm glad you covered it. It's plus 25. I was thinking maybe it'd be plus 10 or 15 as a more balanced version, like a half headstrong. But no, plus 20
team, by the way.
Yeah. I was gonna correct you, but you did. But it was okay. So plus 25 health to start with, which is insane. Makes him immune to instant melee throw damages. Round one, by the way. But then and this is the bit that gets me, is you have this mini life drain added to it, whereby if you down someone, you get that repairs. You get plus 25 health. If you take a trade, you'll still get the armor back. You'll still get plus 25 health. Then you can regen the rest. And what I'm interested in as well is, will you be able to repair that armor like normal headstrong at any point as well if you so feel like it? Or do you only get the armor back?
I think it'll stack. So if you have headstrong, right?
Wait.
So
yes.
Well, so headstrong is the remind me if I'm wrong. Headstrong is the one where it gives you armor and you can repair it during the match, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But he doesn't have that. That's not what he has.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Correct.
Yeah.
And Dahlia doesn't have it either. So that okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why when my mind started turning like, holy cow,
50 health.
Get that and stack 50. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No. So what I'm saying is, do you think he'll be able to repair his passive?
No.
Like heads. Okay. So you don't think? So you think the only way he gets, if he takes damage, the only way he gets the back is by getting the down?
100%, because of the way it's a passive and it's not like a perk and stuff like that. Yeah. So that being said, I don't think so. If you can, it doesn't make sense. Like,
it's like you're having armor, right? If you can repair headstrong when you buy it, and he basically gets that for free, like, so. And that's what I feel. I feel like I don't
think so.
You don't think so?
What?
You think that's the balance?
This may very well be one of those oversight items day one, where it's like, wait, you can repair that. And it's like, oh, we balanced him. See, you can't repair it now. I don't think you should be able to repair it. I think it's going to be way too strong. Holy hell! Like,
it's so strong. It's so
holy
good.
hell! Imagine him in a strikeout mode. Just downs, pure downs. Yeah, it's like, holy cow! Like, that's insane. I mean, anytime one of my players is picking Mac, I'm instantly locking in Dahlia. Like, instantly. And imagine two players on a team with objection, with both having armor, with both having 25 armor. It's you can't. I guarantee you, day 2 it gets nerfed by 50%.
I off PTS, I think it will be. I think it'll be on via PTS. That's what I'm going to.
Yeah.
But so you said running around the objection. No. The conviction. That's the weapon. I
haven't played it. Now you did a great comparison. And of it. So what does it compare with?
So it's obviously you want to, because it's an LMG, you want to compare it with the Maw, which is Anvil's LMG, but the stats are so different. The conviction does way more damage per body shot, but has a much slower fire rate. It also has slightly better handling and range. So it's like a longer range, harder hitting, but slower firing LMG. What it compares most to by like one, like, of every single stat is the Sahara. It is like dead on the Sahara. The Sahara does 24 body damage. The conviction does 25. The handling on the conviction is 30. The handling on the Sahara is 29. Like, it's dead close, and fire rate is almost identical. So it's gonna play very much like the Sahara. obviously we don't know bloom and stuff. It says handling is better on the conviction, but we don't know what that really means because the Sahara kicks, but it kicks vertically. Maybe the conviction kicks horizontally, which is always much harder to deal with. So we don't exactly know how that bloom is going to work or that recoil is going to work. So that's going to be the balance. But what gets me is the 25 body damage. That is really high because what that does, it takes you from it takes you to a 4 shot. It's a 4 shot to the body. Like you take the Sahara, it's a 5 shot to the body. The conviction's 4. The more is like, I'm going to do quick math here. Like 5, 6, 7 shots. 7 shots to the body, I think you have to hit. Like, so there's a big difference there of those weapons. I think that gun's going to be a ripper straight off beam. Honestly.
It kind of puts him in between. Yeah. Interesting.
Also has penetration rounds on when you get the upgrade. It has penetration rounds just like the new the Maw does now, which is going to be so funny. I think that's the most interesting thing to add to a gun is the fact it can pierce through people and hit other people. That's just hilarious. Yes. I've been loving Anvil's LMG because of that. I've actually been using Anvil again because I just like running around holding down my trigger and just spraying multiple people with the same bullet. It's great.
Yeah, I was trying to think through like his counters. I think it's really going to be close range fast shooting like SMGs.
Yeah.
Like with Ronin or with Lancer or with Scorch, like kind of close range, you can melt him quickly before you can get off enough shots to clean you up.
Yeah.
I did notice, I'm looking at his picture, those of you guys in the audio audience, I'm sorry, but on the picture of him, he has a combat knife. Which is interesting because he has a combat knife with shotgun shells on it. He doesn't have a shotgun.
No.
His melee isn't this combat knife, which I feel like could have worked. A big combat, like a Bowie knife, could have been pretty cool. But instead, his melee is the two-handed claymore.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, the claymore. I love it. I love it so much.
So there's a few things that first thing that bothers me. When he puts the claymore or pulls it out, it kind of just randomly disappears and doesn't exist on his back. That's like visual things. But those are the visual things that matter to me as a gamer.
Saying that though, none of the melee weapons appear on anybody until they buy them. So when he buys it, will it appear on his back and he'll just have the greatsword on his back? I think that's actually what it will be.
It absolutely should. It absolutely should. If it doesn't, because like that kind of rubs me the wrong way as a gamer. Like those are the little things. It very much has this like Witcher feel to it.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love The Witcher. I played all the games, watched the movies. I love it.
Perfect. So that's what rises with me. The other thing where my head goes with the claymore is, does he throw it with two hands?
Yes. Does he go? I see. I'm thinking like like a straight over the top.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. What would be awesome? Now I'm just putting it out there. Is if he almost got down on one knee to throw it like real quickly. Like speared it forward, which would be really cool. Funny. It'd be a fast movement, but I'm excited to see how that works out. If they throw it, I want the sound to be like a boom, boom.
Yeah. It needs to be satisfying. You're bringing a two-handed greatsword into the game. I want something amazing with it because it's so interesting.
My guess is it's a copy of the bat with just the greatsword look to it.
Okay.
Because there's nothing else. What else in the game is exactly like the bat from the animation, the speed, and the damage? Like, what else do you have? Okay. So they're adding another one in there. My guess is it's an exact copy. I'm okay with that. But still.
Statistically, it's a bit different. It does actually. It's the only melee weapon to come in at a base 50 damage swing, whereas all the other ones are 40. So it actually there's more damage to swing it. I think it has a slower swing time. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I think it'll have a slower throw speed. So I think I think there'll be some balance to it in that sense. I think it'll be an interesting one. I don't think you're gonna want to throw it. It's kind of what I'm getting. Is what I want it to be. Is like it's not really a throwable option, which is interesting. Also, I want to point this out because someone commented this to me, and I think it's really funny. His weapons, and because he's obviously this right hand of Justicar, justice, police. The incorruptible is his title. He's like this proper honor bound like enforcer, and his weapons are called the conviction, the objection, and the warrant. Which I think is amazing. I think that's so good. Like that little thing in there, that does me. I'm happy about that one. That satisfies me just from the little puns there.
I feel like if he had the executioner, which the executioner could work there versus the warrant, the executioner could absolutely work there. conviction, objection, executioner.
Yeah.
But I feel like the executioner would almost make him too good because
Yeah.
that would address a
Absolutely.
lot of your range.
Hmm.
Like as we've talked about with Dahlia
Hmm.
and Trench, like you use the executioner now
Yeah.
type of deal. So yeah, that's what I look at that, and that's a good balance move. Um, who did we just? Oh no, that was I was thinking, oh, who's the latest Seeker? But if
Seeker's
he's
latest
the
one.
A3 salvo,
Yeah, we're not having any more rogues than that, please. Please, no more A3
yep,
salvos.
yep,
But yeah, okay, so the other thing to sort of talk about with Mac then is his main ability, Light Bomb, which we don't know
yep.
a lot about. I'll let you read off the description if you got it there.
Yeah, absolutely. So light bomb is the ability, and that is plant a device that charges up and launches a massive flashbang a short distance into the air. So there's a lot to unpack here. So
Yeah.
first one, he has a little bomb.
Hmm.
He plants that device and it charges up. So that
Yeah.
means after he plants it, it's not like there's a period of time before it reaches peak,
Yeah.
and then it launches a flashbang upward. So
Yeah.
imagine a small little device. It shoots it upward. We don't know the distance of how high,
No.
and a short distance into the air creates a flashbang. So
Right.
the flashbangs in Rogue Company are not directional,
No.
meaning if I throw it past Radthar's head and it goes
Hmm.
off, Radthar's still getting flashed, even
Yeah.
if he's not looking at it. So this creates a circumference, a circle
Mhm.
around this device. I assume it's not super high off the ground.
No.
Um, but I'm very curious to see how this works. Cause like
Yeah.
if I am over here by cannons and you're at short and you do the flashbang over there, is it going to affect me because I see it, even
Yeah.
though I'm not with?
Mhm.
Like that's kind of where my head goes. Like,
Yeah.
is it affecting people that are not within the range but look at it?
Yeah. So what I'm hoping is, and I have a few different theories about what it might be. First of all, how long is the detonation time? Is it like I
Yeah.
plant it and it goes off? Is it like a C4 where I plant it, it charges up, then I can use it whenever I want, like a detonation thing? Is it is it or will it essentially just go off? Like, and does it flash teammates? Like, can I get out of the area in time before it flashes me? Like that sort of thing is what I'm really interested in.
I
But
got some ideas.
on
Yeah.
that point as well, I actually
Go
hope
for it.
it's directional. I hope that you have to look at it, and you can look at it from anywhere. That's what I want. Like, you could be on the other side of the map, and if it's in your view distance and you are looking at it when it goes off, it flashes you. That would be really interesting, I think. Like, it's just that kind of
Yeah.
flare or whatever that will blind you if you look at it. And maybe if you look away, it doesn't anymore. Like, there's a cooldown period if you look away, or something like that. That's what I'm hoping for it. Something a bit interesting like that, something a bit newer, rather than just or this sort of C4 kind of detonation, which I think would be really interesting. Like, imagine trip mine, flash! Where am I going? Where am I running? To trip mine. That'd be great.
This I got thinking about this as you were talking,
Mhm.
and I'm curious on. I'm kind of like we're comparing him to an anvil.
Yeah.
So is this a to push people to deviate from a path like Anvil? So
Mhm.
with Anvil, his tactical shield, it stops people, his barricade, he stops people from going down a route.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if this is something where you plant it in like an area and it you use it when someone's pushing a route. So like you're
Yeah.
pushing short, and all of a sudden it's there and you pop it and it flashes everyone within it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm curious if this is that same type of thing. Imagine, they're pushing cart and all of a
Yeah.
sudden you got this right there and you pop it all at once. Run in, get him, type of
Yeah.
deal. So yeah, I think I'm very curious to see what this is like when it does drop, or we at least get the ability to test it in the
Yeah.
PTS.
Yeah. I think so too. I think PTS is going to be the time where we really get to delve into it and see what's what, but we do not have a confirmed date on when PTS is going to be, which is fortunate
Yeah.
because I always like to know that because I don't like hearing about it the day before. But yeah, I think PTS is where a lot of the speculation is going to come into fold. I think his perk set's pretty good. I think it's going to fit with it, but I think the perk set, I think everything we just talked about with the ability, the speculation, the ability, the passive, particularly, and the weapon are the three kind of things that are really going to matter with this rogue. In terms of where I see him in the meta, it kind of depends on how strong he's going to be when he comes out on PTS. We'll know. Based off just paper and statistics, he looks like he's going to be slightly overtuned. I would say he's one of the only rogues to come out overtuned. Like, I don't think, like, Seeker's pretty balanced. Seeker's like, bounce nades are not. I'll give you that. Bounce nades are a problem because they nerf tenacity, not because Seeker's too strong. Kestrel's weapon is slightly overtuned, but like I think this Rogue as a concept is potentially going to be overtuned, particularly just because of that passive and maybe the weapon. So that's kind of where I see this going. But I'm very, very interested to see how PTS goes us. That's kind of it from me, though. If there's anything else that you want to touch on here.
No, other than that, I think we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, we were kind of excited to get some types of leaks, to kind of give us something to chat about, which is good regarding what's going on right now. We are kind of in that limbo period, waiting. I feel like the arms dealer event as you and I talked about, really should have come out sooner.
Yes.
Because I think it would have made more sense 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. But now it just feels odd with the fact of how many days left, I think, does the battle pass say we have? I don't recall what it is.
22.
22. So that's going to put us end of May.
Yeah, mid-May.
Okay, so that'll be mid Q2 is when we get our second battle pass. So if they're sticking with that, we get a battle pass in the middle of every quarter.
Yeah.
So that would be May. So our next one would be July then. After that. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious on where we go from here. I mean, if we're 22 days away, are we stirring up anything with, I guess we'll call it season 2 of Rogue Company Ranked?
Yeah.
Where are we going with that? I just feel like those were some of the big things that kind of got some talking about with Ranked, and the matchmaking is in a good place, and allowing multiple people to, how are they making the queue system laid out? These are some of the questions that come to mind. We're 22 days out.
Yeah.
What's kind of coming? So yeah, this is kind of where my thoughts are at.
Exactly. I'm in the same boat as well, and we have 22 days to discuss this on podcast as well. I think there's definitely a lot of topics to be going through here. Some new things with the leaks with Just the Car, some of the skins, talk about Rank 2 matchmaking, talk about new game modes that were leaked as well. Going to be some interesting stuff, I think, coming in the next couple of weeks until we get stuff like the PTS. So we got a lot more content for next week's show as well to talk about. But for now, guys, that's going to be the end of this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed. Check us out on audio platforms if you are so interested. We're on pretty much all the major ones, so it's great. But until next week, guys, see you later.